The atmosphere is about to flip, violently. After a brief and deceptive calm, a major severe weather pattern is roaring back to life. And this time, millions of Americans are directly in the crosshairs for tornadoes. This is not just another storm system. This is a full-scale atmospheric reload, and it's targeting new managed while re-energizing old ones. The jet stream, the engine behind the most dangerous weather on Earth, is no longer holding back. It's reorganizing, strengthening, and aligning in a way that screams escalation. Two massive streams of energy, the polar jet from the north and the subtropical jet from the south, are now on a collision course. When these forces merge, they don't just create storms. They create outbreaks, explosive lift, violent wind shear, and the kind of atmospheric spin that can turn ordinary storms into tornado-producing monsters. And that's exactly what's starting to happen. You can already see the setup forming, from Oklahoma through the Ohio Valley, where the atmosphere is being stretched, twisted, and primed. Winds near the ground are one thing, but higher up, they are ripping through the sky at extreme speeds, creating a dangerous tilt in the atmosphere, a perfect breeding ground for rotation. And here's the part that should concern you the most. There is no shortage of energy. This system has everything it needs to explode. As we move into midweek, the ingredients only intensify. The jet stream digs deeper. The wind fields strengthen. The atmosphere destabilizes. And this isn't a one-day threat. It's wave after wave after wave. Even after this round, the pattern reloads again, more dips in the jet stream, more disturbances, more for severe weather. This is what meteorologists call a locked-in pattern, and it can keep delivering storms for days, even weeks. So if you think this ends after Wednesday, it doesn't. Now let's talk about what's coming right now. Today, the Ohio Valley is already seeing storms begin to fire. Not the worst yet, but enough wind shear and instability to produce damaging winds and even an isolated tornado. But don't be fooled. Today is just the warning shot. By Tuesday, the atmosphere becomes far more unstable, especially across Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. And by Wednesday, that's when everything comes together. Maximum instability, maximum wind shear, maximum khatar. We're talking about atmospheric energy levels that are 2 to 3 times higher than what's needed to produce severe storms. That means explosive thunderstorm development, large, destructive hail, widespread damaging winds, and yes, tornadoes, potentially strong ones. And here's the critical detail, the one that could make or break everything: instability. If the atmosphere fully unlocks its energy, this becomes a high-end, severe weather event. If it stays partially capped, the threat becomes more isolated, but still dangerous. Either way, this is not safe. Because when a capped atmosphere finally breaks, it can erupt violently and without warning. By Wednesday afternoon into the evening, the most dangerous zone shifts into the deep south, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, where heat, moisture, and wind shear collide at full el-Quwa. And then the threat keeps moving east. By Thursday, the Carolinas and parts of the southeast could see another round of severe storms, fueled by lingering instability and powerful winds aloft. And just when you think it might calm down, another system may already be forming behind it. This is not a single storm. This is a pattern of sustained khatar. Here's the bottom line. The first half of May is shaping up to be active, volatile, and potentially dangerous across large parts of the United States. Storms will come in waves. There will be breaks, but they won't last. And the peak of this current threat? Wednesday. That's the day you cannot ignore, because when all the ingredients align, the atmosphere doesn't hesitate. It unleashes. Stay alert, stay prepared, because this pattern isn't just active, it's escalating. And it's not done yet, not even close. Because after Wednesday's peak, the atmosphere doesn't reset, it reloads again. By Thursday, that same energy begins shifting east, dragging the threat straight into the southeast, the Carolinas, Georgia, even parts of the mid-Atlantic. The setup may look slightly different, but don't let that fool you. The danger is still there. Even without perfect tornado conditions, the atmosphere will still be capable of producing damaging straight-line winds strong enough to knock out power, tear apart trees, and cause widespread damage in minutes. Large hail remains on the table. And yes, even a brief tornado can still spin up when conditions align just enough. Then comes the part that should make you uneasy. There may be no real break. Forecast models are already hinting at another disturbance forming along the Gulf Coast by Friday. A smaller system, but in this pattern, it doesn't take much to spark new storms. And beyond that, the pattern resets again. Heading into the weekend and early next week, fresh dips in the jet stream begin to take shape, the exact same mechanism driving this current outbreak. New areas of low pressure, new rounds of instability, new forecasts for severe weather. This is what meteorologists fear most. Not just one outbreak, but a persistent cycle. Storms don't just happen once. They come in waves. They overlap. They wear people down. And that's when mistakes happen. That's when warnings get ignored. That's when people assume the worst is already over. But in a pattern like this, the worst can still be ahead. So here's what you need to understand right now. This is not a one-day event. This is not a localized threat. And this is not ending anytime soon. From the plains to the Midwest to the South and Southeast, this is a large-scale, multi-day severe weather pattern capable of producing tornadoes, destructive winds, large hail, and repeated storm outbreaks. And every new wave brings the potential for something worse than the last. So don't wait for sirens. Don't wait to see it outside your window. Have a plan. Know where you'll go. Make sure alerts are on, especially overnight. Because in patterns like this, some of the most dangerous storms don't arrive in the daylight. They arrive when you're asleep. This is your warning. The atmosphere is unstable. The pattern is locked in. And the next round is already building. Stay ready, because this isn't over.